Today I want to talk about my new signal chain. I got 3 pedals, one of them is a multi-effects processor, the Line 6 HX Stomp, and I want to show you how I am using it. Welcome everyone, so for this video we have a little different setup. I have this camera and I also have a top-down camera where I can talk about the components and you can see what I am actually talking about. So my signal chain comes from my base, and the first guy that reaches is the CAPO. I am using the Team Lefebvre edition. It is important that is this specific edition because it has one dedicated foot switch for whatever gets plugged in the right side of the loop. On the right side of the pedal, you have a loop pre with a send return. This means that the raw copy of the input will go to whatever is on the send return when the loop foot switch is activated. This is important because I will be plugging the Line 6 HX Stomp in that specific send return. So the Line 6 with its whole world of effects and processing and amp simulation and octaver and everything can be engaged and disengaged by the left foot switch of the CAPO Team Lefebvre edition because I am plugging on the send return. Bass gets in the CAPO, send return, Line 6, and then I have lots of cool presets. These cool presets, most of them, they have a compressor in it. But the thing is, I love to actually see what the compressor is doing. And guess what? The Line 6 also has a send return. So I am using this send return to plug the Cali76 bass compressor, which has the LEDs. And because it has these LEDs, I can actually see what the compressor is doing. So why am I plugging the Cali76 on the send return, also called FX loop, of the Line 6 HX Stomp? The answer is pretty simple. It is because inside the virtual signal chain presented by the Line 6 HX Stomp, I can move this guy around to be before the octaver, after the octaver, before the amp simulation, after the amp simulation, after the whole thing, before the whole thing. And I can do that with a virtual stomp called FX loop. And I have that flexibility of moving the Cali around in the virtual signal chain. And because the Line 6 HX Stomp is plugged in the send return of the CAPO, I can engage and disengage. So this is basically the best of both worlds because the bass gets in the CAPO sends a send return to the HX Stomp. I can engage or disengage the HX Stomp by pressing the loop foot switch, right? So if I just want the CAPO preamp with no Line 6 HX Stomp work, I can just enable this and disable that. If I want both the CAPO with the color of the gain knob and the level and the EQ from the CAPO, I can enable the preamp, enable the HX Stomp by pressing the loop. So I have this both on. This guy here, which is my compressor, it is a virtual guy inside the Line 6 HX Stomp, and I can move it around. So if I want it to be before the amp simulation, after the amp simulation, before whatever, it is virtual in the signal chain. I am going to wire all these guys in my pedal board here, and you're going to listen how it sounds like. As I told you, the first one is the CAPO, right? And send and return. So I am going to get 2 cables. The bass will enter in the input. 2 cables. I have the 2 cables here. One will go on the send, another one on the return. One on the send, another one on the return. Send gets in the input on the left mono input of the HX Stomp, all right? And I am going to put it not so tight together here because I need to use the send return on the Line 6 for the Cali. Again, send. It says stereo, but I'm using a TS cable mono. I'm not using the stereo. This is just in case you want to use the right channel here for the return. It doesn't matter. I am sending mono and I will only get mono. So one goes on the send, another one goes on the return. Put them up, and now I can put them tightly together like this. This one is the send. This one is the send. It will get in the instrument. of this guy here, which will get right there, and then the return will go on this one. So now I assume it is all set, because the bass come here on the right side of the capo. It gets sent. Oh, there is one connection missing, the return from the line 6 output back to the capo. So it looks like this. Now I am going to put power. Now I am going to plug everything up and show you how it sounds. Both these guys here, both the preamp and the loop, are disengaged, meaning that the sound you are listening is from the bass, raw. If I turn on the preamp, then I have capo magic. Notice that this guy is showing activity, but it is not engaged. Like you can see it's turned off, right? The capo sends anyway, it does not play. It will play if I engage this loop foot switch, then it's going to pass the signal to the HX Stomp, and then I have a signal chain here that is using the FX loop. What you're going to hear right now is the full thing. The saturation is coming from this guy right here, so if I put it down and compensate here, if I only want to engage the HX Stomp, I just turn this off. And if I only want the capo, if I want both, lower this a little bit because there is some volume come from this. So the first square here is the one that is using the FX loop. If I hold action, I can turn to move, and that's what I was saying. Like if I want that specific compressor pedal at the end of the chain, then it's now at the end of the chain. No rewiring required, and then I can move it around, right? Now, there are also other presets, such as, for example, the Ultimate Amp. And again, here is the FX loop. It is this guy here. In this case, it is after something called Thema and some other stomp called Drive and an octaver that is turned off. So my compressor is right here. And this is a preset from Ian Martin Ellison that uses like an Unpeg SVT and the SVTE speakers. But my compressor is right here before the amp and the speakers. And look how it sounds. Ah, Ref, I don't like the compressor here. All right, you want the compressor at the beginning of the chain, or you want at the end. Doesn't make too much of a difference here, but the fact that I can move the compressor around virtually just by dialing a knob and at the same time engaging this guy here is gold. Because if I want to change presets on the, not presets, if I want to change knobs on the compressor, it is here physically available to me. So if I think it is compressing too much, I can just change things. And again, if I want to disable the coloring from the capo and just leave with the loop with these two guys here, there I go. And if I want the sound from my bass, if I want them both enabled. That's why it is important to have the Team Lefebvre edition, because you have this dedicated foot switch for the loop, meaning you can engage and disengage whatever goes on the right side of the send return here. Okay, so when I have these two enabled, I have both the coloring of the CAPO plus everything, the magic that the HX Stomp does, including the send return for the Cali76, right? That's it. I hope you liked. Please don't forget to leave the like and the subscribe. This video, you have no idea the amount of work that these top-down camera videos require, so I would appreciate a lot if you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Boop, 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 boop.